31st of August, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, blowing the shofar.
Good morning, Lou. Good morning, Mayor. How's everyone today?
Good morning, Rabbi Furst.
Morning, Rabbi Furst. Doing good. Thank God.
Okay, you anyone planning to blow shofar next week at this time?
I am, yes. I'm planning on blowing for myself, my wife, and my son.
Okay, very nice. Been practicing a bit.
Yep, I've been practicing. Thanks
Good.
to you. It coming pretty easily.
Baruch Hashem, very good, very good. Yeah.
Oh,
happy
thank you
to-
for helping my son. He was very pleased with the chauffeur that you helped him get.
Yeah, it's a very nice shofar, and he's been practicing along also.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he's
great.
been working on it all year.
Good, wonderful.
He
Very
borrowed
happy to-
mine, and then I told him I wanted it back.
Yeah. Good, very good.
Sorry, I forgot to send you an email yesterday.
About what? Oh, about the yeah. Remind me, because that we'll hopefully we'll be able to get to it. It happens to be a very important concept to try and understand, and so it's well worth our working on it. I wanted to ask you, did you ever get any more responses from that tour rabbi that was talking about Poland? You know, the enlightened age of Poland just before the war. Good
I
morning,
did.
Elliot.
I'm trying. Maybe I dropped the ball. I'm trying to remember. He sent me back. I think he asked me for my source, and I asked you, and you gave me the information, and I sent it to him. I think that was the last thing.
Okay, yeah, that's why I remember. That's why I remember last that we had sent them some information. So okay, he has the information, so he can you know, hopefully be interested enough to look into it and see what the record shows. Yeah, okay. It actually made me. I had a copy of Rabbi Miller's Zal's book on the Holocaust, but I know I lent it out. So I ordered a revised copy. So I actually got it. I've been looking through it. So
56:48.
okay. So yeah, this is we're continuing on with the question again that this is Rav Zilberstein Schlichter. He was a situation came up that there was a choice between hearing the Tekiah Shofar 3 times Tashrat along with the brachas, or just hearing the 30 kolos without any brachas. So that's it basically revolves around the 2 primary opinions, the Rambam's opinion and the Rav Chai Gaon's opinion as to what we and why we are blowing the so many different sounds on Rosh Hashanah, primarily the 30. So again, just to recap, the Rav Chai Gaon says that really any one of the 3 sounds that we hear, because the question is what the true is and what the Torah is, it tells us about. Is it true as shrine, just shrine? Is it just a trua, or is it a combination of shrine trua? So according to Rav Chai Gaon, any one of the 3 are considered to be true. So by hearing any one of the 3, you're actually going to be Yotzi Midoraisa. The Rambam holds differently. He says no, that we are in doubt as to what the actual command is of trua. So therefore, Midoraisa, we have to blow 30, a combination of all sounds, to make sure that we are fulfilling the mitzvah Doraisa in the proper way. So part of what's being explained to us in terms of the question that's been asked, what should a person listen to? 30 kolos or the just the tashrat. So according to the Rambam, there's no question you should definitely listen to the 30 and let the brachas go. On the other hand, according to Rav Chaim Gaon, and that's where we're going to pick up right now. When you see on the screen, you have Mashiach Ladun. What there is to uh, judge about is the shittas of Rav Chaim Gaon. We have it there.
I have it, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone volunteering to read a bit to this morning?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, Masha Yesh Ladin Hu Le Shitas Rav Hai Gaon. In what is there to judge according to the viewpoint of Rav Hai Gaon? Salka Le
Sesvirale that he holds.
Svirale, that in his opinion, She Bishamias Tashras Hu Vadai Kayem Es HaMitzvah Midoraisa. That in hearing the Tashras, the nine blasts, he certainly fulfills the mitzvah deraisa. Ella sheyesh tikna midirabanan.
Takana.
Tikana. But there is a decree of the rabbis, lishmoa gam tashas.
Tashat and Tarat.
Tashat and Tarat.
Right. That's the Tekiah Shvarim Trua and the Tekiah Trua Tekiah.
So there is a rabbinical a decree that one should hear also Tashrat and Tarat. So those are each three blasts.
Well, everyone agrees that that you should really hear 30, meaning another 10, another set of each. Right? That so what we do is we go 3 sets of 3, right? So every because that's what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah says you have to hear 3 sets of 3. So when we say that according to Rav Chaim Gaon, since any one of the sounds you're fulfilling your mitzvah deraisa, so really with tashrat you're filling your mitzvah, and then the other 2 sounds that you have to hear, and additionally, are those required the rabbanan. So you have to hear 3 sets of each one.
Okay. So the total would be 30.
Total would be 30, correct?
Okay. So he says that you can fulfill the mitzvah deraisa with the first set, but then there's a mitzvah rabbanan to have 2 more sets, making the total of 30. So the 30 blasts, according to him, are partly deraisa and partly rabbanan.
Right. I mean, the first one you'll blow will be deraisa, and then the rest will be the rabbanan.
Right. Umeidach yesh gam din mi derabanan levarech lifnei hatekios. On the other hand, there is also a rabbinic law is there a distinction here between a gezerah and a din, or is it just synonymous?
There are different connotations to each one, but here they're more or less synonymous.
Okay. So on the other hand, there is also a rabbinic decree to bless before the blowing. So he's saying there's two rabbinic parts. The bracha is rabbinic, and the last two sets of the shofar are rabbinic, and the first set of the shofar is derisa.
Right.
Here comes Roy. V'yesh le histapek es eze mitzvah midirabanan yesh le adif, and there's a doubt as to which rabbinic mitzvah takes priority. That
Right.
is the
Very good.
brachas or the last two sets.
Correct.
Ha'im es ha-bracha lifnei ha-mitzvah o es kol ha-tzedadim shel kol ha-kolos. If it is the blessing before the mitzvah, or is it the possibilities of all of the blowings?
Right. So that's the question. According to, in the sheet of Rav Chai Gaon, you have a question that you have two mitzvahs d'Rabbanan to choose from, and the question is which is more preferable to fulfill. In this case, the making the brachas, or on the other hand, listening to the other possibilities of the sounds of the true.
V'hinei yaun.
Ian, right? Ian, you should.
Ian.
And now there is to investigate or to look into the words of the Ritva.
The Ritva, the Paschim that he rules.
No, in Pesachim, Daf Zayin Amid Beis. There's a Gemara in Daf Zayin Amid Beis. The Ritva, it's his commentary on that Gemara.
Okay, it's written there. Tam ze she amru Chazal levarech al hamitzvah over la'at sisan. The reason for this that Chazal say to bless on the mitzvah is an avera.
No, it's over l'siyasa, meaning that when the Gemara is referring to over there in Pesachim that all brachas of mitzvahs you have to make the bracha over l'siyasa, meaning really what it means over l'siyasa is prior to the actual doing of the mitzvah. So you always make your bracha before you take your lulav, before you listen to the shofar, before you sit in the sukkah. You always make the bracha, and then you fulfill your mitzvah. So the Gemara is explaining there that that's the general rule by all mitzvahs, that the bracha precedes the doing of the mitzvah. And so now the Ritva is giving an explanation why that should be. Why should it be that when we make a bracha, it should always be before you do the mitzvah, not after you've done the mitzvah already?
Today, Shayis Tad Kadash Techila Bivracha, in order to sanctify The beginning of the blessing?
Which should be sanctified beforehand with a bracha. Meaning the act that you're going to be doing, right? The act that you're doing, you're going to be eating matzah. You're going to be sitting in a sukkah. You're going to be taking a lulav. So that you're going to be putting on talis or tefillin. So that act which you're doing should be miskadesh. It should be, the word miskadesh is sanctified, but really it also means like designated. It should be uniquely done for the sake of the mitzvah. That by making the bracha on the mitzvah, that's a way of designating the act that you're going to do for the sake of a mitzvah.
V'yigla v'yodia shehu osa mipnei mitzvahs hashita.
That it should be known, yigala, it should be actually yigala revealed, yadua and known, shu also mitnei mitzvahs Hashem Yisborach. It should be revealed and known that he's doing this act because it's a command from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So that's what the bracha does. The bracha is a way of signaling and calling attention to the fact that what you're going to do is now being done because it's a command from a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
V'od ki ha-mivarchos me avodas ha-nefesh v'roi le-hakdish avodas ha-nefesh l'ma'aseh shehi avodas hagon. So, and also, when he blesses, the work of his soul.
Okay, ki habracha ma'avodas hanefesh, and also since the word ki in this case means since habracha, since the brachas are ma'avodas hanefesh, it's meaning let me put it this way: you're going to do a physical act. You're going to eat matzah. You're going to listen to shofar. You're going to sit in the sukkah. So that's a physical act, right? In contrast, you want to have a spiritual counterpart to the physical act. So the spiritual counterpart to the physical act is the bracha. The bracha is the spiritual counterpart to the actual behavior, action that you're going to do, actual deed that you're going to do.
Okay. And it's proper to sanctify spiritual service for this action, that it is a service of the body. It is a physical service.
Right.
And what is this abbreviation?
Ayin Sham. You should, take a look there. Meaning, don't just rely on what is being quoted here by the Ritva, but take a look at the Ritva himself, and I'm sure there are more points to be seen in the Ritva than simply what's being quoted here as well.
Mashma midivarav Shebirchas hamitzvos he chalek mehamitzvah. We derive from these words that the blessing of the mitzvah, it is a part of the mitzvah.
Right, so we can understand from the Ritva that when you're making a bracha is not simply something which is separate and apart from the actual mitzvah, but is actually a part of the mitzvah. As he said, meaning there's a physical act which is the mitzvah itself, but there's a spiritual counterpart to the act of the mitzvah, that is the bracha that you make on the mitzvah. And that, as is indicated by the Ritva, is actually a component of the mitzvah itself.
So is he saying that therefore the bracha is deraisa?
That's you're going to see, right? You're going to see now. He's going to prove that point. Correct. That seems to be what the indication is here. Correct. That the bracha is also deraisa, and meaning within this context, meaning the following. Meaning the actual words that we say, we've been given the format, the nusach, to what to say midrabanan. But the fact that you're making the bracha is something which is part of the actual mitzvah itself.
Ve'ion od b'menachas
Bin minchas chinuch. Take a look further in
b'minchas
the.
chinuch.
That's a sefer. That's a commentary on the Sefer Chinuch. Sefer Chinuch was written by a Rishon. It's basically a compilation of all the mitzvahs, 613 mitzvahs, and there's a commentary on that sefer which is called the Minchas Chinuch.
Shehavi es divrei hayerushalmi, that he brings the words of the Yerushalmi, the Jerusalem Talmud.
Right, very good.
And this is a page number.
That's the Sasvira Lay, that the Rishalmi is of the opinion.
Shebirchas hamitzvas have deraisa, that the blessing of the mitzvah is deraisa. Should I read the brackets?
Yeah, it's worthwhile.
B'havya she hafmag.
That's the Prima Gunnan. The Prima Gunnan is a commentary on the Shulchan Aruch.
Okay, so he brings the Prima Gada, which writes al Yerushalmi, about the Yerushalmi, Sheyitakain shehu rak asmachta, to make a correction that it is only an asmachta. I forgot what asmachta is.
Okay, so you should hear the word Sheyitake means it's possible that the Prima Gunnan is learning the Yerushalmi, that it's possible that the Yerushalmi is not really a proof that it's deraisa, because you might be able to say that it's only a asmachta. It's an asmachta is a indication from the Torah itself that what we're supposed to do, but nevertheless, it's not actually considered to be a mitzvah deraisa. But the source of what we need to do is indication of the. If I'm not mistaken, that we have 3 sudas on Shabbos. It's based on an asmachta. right? So it's a question whether the three sudas, the three meals we have on Shabbos is actually a mitzvah deraisa in and of itself, right? Or it's simply a way of fulfilling our general mitzvah of honoring the Shabbos day. And so we do it by having three sudas, and that's derived from what we call an asmachta, an indication from what we see in the Torah itself.
So is it kind of like a hint?
Somewhat like a hint. It's an indication from the Torah as to what we're supposed to do, right?
Okay, so the Pri Megaddin has an opinion that the bracha is deraisa, but I'm sorry, the Minchas Hinam has an opinion that it's deraisa, but he brings the Pri Megaddin who says maybe it's an asmachta,
Right.
and
So-
therefore not deraisa.
Right. It's not a full-fledged mitzvah deraisa b'fnei atzma all by itself.
Va'al pi divrei haYerushalmi ha'elu, and according to the words of this Yerushalmi, bior ha'par tzvi. What's that?
The hard tzvi is a sefer in halacha, hard tzvi, and this right. It's explained in the sefer hard tzvi.
Explained. Brachos daf tetvav amid aleph. So the Sefer Hahar Tzvi is quoting brachos.
The sefer hard tzvi is giving his explanation in the Gemara in brachos on Tezvav Amud Aleph.
Okay. Es divrei hasifrei shehavi Rashi. The words of the that are brought by Rashi about the Sifrei.
Right. That Rashi is quoting the Sifri. The Sifri is like a medrash.
Al ha pasuk, concerning this pasuk in Devarim Kaf Vav Yud Gimel, and the pasuk is Lo avarti mi mitzvot secha v'lo shechachti. Let's see. I did not transgress.
So this was a pasuk in last week's parsha, right? When he brought the Bikurim to Shalayim, he's supposed to make the vidui that was explicit there in the Torah. So part of what he says, lo avarti mi mitzvasecha v'lo shechachti. So he said, so part of his confession there, when he bring the Bikurim, is to say, I didn't transgress your mitzvahs, nor did I forget. So the question is, what does it mean? What does it mean he didn't forget? What's that referred to? He didn't forget.
Lo shechachti milevarech al ha-parshas ma'as ros. That I didn't forget the blessing on the matter of the tithe. V'hak shu haram Harambam, V'shar Mefarshe Rashi.
Oh,
What's Hakshu?
so that they ask the Re'aim asks, and other commentaries on Rashi, meaning because Rashi says when the Torah says Lo shachachti, I didn't forget. So Rashi says what did he not forget? He didn't forget to make a bracha on her precious maasros, right?
Right.
So on that, the Re'aim and other commentators of Rashi ask, Hiksha, they ask,
Hare Birkas Hamitzvos Hu Rak Midrabanan. Behold, the blessing of the mitzvah is only Rabbanan.
oh, so that's the question that they ask on Rashi. Rashi's saying when the Torah says Lo shachachti, that the Torah is saying that he didn't forget to make a bracha on the Hafrosh's Truma. So, or the Hafrosh's Maasros. So on that they ask, well, bracha is only midrabanan. How can you say that the Torah is saying that when he says I didn't forget, he didn't forget to make a bracha? The brachas are only midrabanan. That's the question that they ask on Rashi's explanation.
Ubior Hahar Savi Shirashi. And the explanation of the Har Svi is that Rashi Piresh S Hapasuk Al Pi Shayitats Ha Yerushalmi. That Rashi explains the pasuk and according to the view of the Yerushalmi.
Right. So the answer that the Har Tzvi gives, that how can Rashi be saying that the verse in the Torah says Lo shachachti is referring to a situation where he didn't forget to make the bracha on the maasros. So he says Rashi, the Har Tzvi says that Pshat in Rashi is Rashi's explaining this pasuk according to the opinion of the Yerushalmi, that the Yerushalmi is of the opinion that the brachas are d'oraisa.
So notice Rashi doesn't necessarily hold that they're derisa. He's just explaining the viewpoint of the Yerushalmi, who does say that it's derisa.
Right. He's explaining this according to the Yerushalmi. Right. In terms of halacha is something else, but he's explaining Rashi just at this point according to the simple understanding of what the Torah is talking about.
Shafilu sheha lehilchach lehalacha lo kayal hachi. What is kayal?
We don't kaim malan. We don't establish the halakha to be that way. Meaning the halakha is established that the brachas are not d'oraisa, the brachas are d'rabbanan. But nevertheless, Rashi is still explaining the pasuk according to the shittas of the Yerushalmi that is of the opinion that brachas are d'oraisa.
Okay, so in other words, we don't hold like the Yerushalmi in this case.
In terms of halacha, right?
And you can't bring Rashi as a support for the Yerushalmi because he's just a commentator at this point. He's not giving an opinion.
Right, that's right.
Ella Kaimalan Shabirkas Hamitzvas Hu Derabanan. Rather, we do establish that the bracha of a mitzvah is rabbinic.
Right.
Mikol makom, nevertheless, piresh es ha pasuk al derech ha hapshat. Nevertheless, we explain the pasuk according to the simple understanding.
Right.
So, in other words, the Rishalmi is not necessarily saying this is the halacha; it's just discussing the pshat.
Right.
I think I understood this paragraph. Amazing.
Okay, very good.
All right, weiter.
Yeah, sure.
V'hinei kasav ha shua simin tikfo samech hey. So it was written by in this is a book Hashua.
So this is no, that's Shulchan Aruch. But you should know that it's written in the Shulchan Aruch.
Okay, it's written in the Shulchan Aruch. Okay, Simon, so on. Shemei she modar ha nia mi shofar. Shemei, he should hear. I don't know what modar is.
No, Shemi is someone that me is somebody. Shemi, someone that moider anam mishov. He takes a vow of getting benefit from a shofar. Takes an oath or a vow from taking benefit from a shofar.
Okay. Ain lo litakua the shofar. He cannot blow the shofar.
Right. That he who took the vow against getting benefit from a particular shofar, he, the one who took the vow, cannot get benefit from the shofar, and therefore he cannot blow from the shofar.
Because blowing the shofar is getting benefit from it.
Right. Well, that'll be a separate discussion, but in general, at this point, yes. Let's say yes. In general, yes.
Ella Adam Achar Yiska Avoro. But another person that blows, what's avoro?
For his sake, meaning another person could take that shofar and blow that shofar for the person who took the neder against the shofar, but someone else can blow for him.
Oh, so he can blow not for himself, he can blow for the first person.
A second person can blow for the person who took the vow, yes.
Okay, so for his friend.
Right.
Okay. The kasav hamishnav.
That's the Mr. Brewer. Kasav the Mr. Brewer. The Mr. Brewer writes on that.
B'shem hamita afrim.
That's the Mate Ephraim. That's a separate sefer. So the Mr. Brewer is quoting the sefer Mate Ephraim.
Okay, so it's so we see, so the Mishnah Berurah says in the name of the Mate Ephraim, Shebishas Hadechak Bishabas adchach she'ein lo echad. In a difficult situation where there is no one,
There's no one else to blow for him, and it's only he and the chauffeur are the only people around. So
right.
normally in that situation, he should get a second person to blow for him with that chauffeur. But let's say no one else is around, and it's only him and the chauffeur there. So then that's shastachak. What's the din then?
Mutar lo be'atzmo litako. It's permissible for him to blow for himself.
Right.
Rak she'ein lo litkoa ki im hashra kolos. Only that there is not for him to blow, since there are 10 blowings.
So he's only to blow 10 blasts, meaning in a case where there's nobody else to blow for him, so he can use the chauffeur he took a vow against getting benefit from, and he can then in that case blow, but he should only blow 10 sounds.
I thought 30 was the minimum.
Yeah, but that's in general. But here in this is because you have the neder. You have the neder, which is it could be an issur d'oraisa to be to transgress the neder. On the other hand, he has a mitzvah saseh of the Torah telling him to blow the shofar. So you have to come to some kind of a decision as to what the person's supposed to do. So in this case, one possible way to solve the problem when there's no other person to blow for him is to use this same shofar they took a vow against, but only blow the very minimal of 10 sounds. And it's true, you won't have the 30 sounds, but the 30 sounds really are based on the fact that 3 sounds could be really truly proper to blow in a very minimal case like this as well.
De hayinu tashrat tasat tarat shehem meikar hadin. That it is that those 3 sets, each one in this case, I think each one is three blasts.
Right, only 3 blasts. Right, we blow 3 sounds, but only a set of ones for each one of them.
And that is the essence of the law.
Right, that's the bone dry halacha.
U mashma she svirle she meikar hadin kaimalan ke shitas Rav Hai Gaon. And we derive that according to this view, that the essence of the law is that we establish, according to the view of Rav Hai Gaon.
Right. So therefore, in a case of the Mr. Brewer's paskin that he himself can blow, but only blow 10 sounds. So that's going to be because we're going to be relying on the opinion of Rav Chai Gaon, that hearing the 10 times, that will be fulfilling your mitzvah d'oraisa.
So just a technical question. We have 3 sets of 3 is 9. Where does the 10th one come from?
Well, because the counting of in the tashrat, the shraim true is usually counted as 2 sounds. So the first one, the tashrat, is counted as 4.
Okay, got it.
That gives you 4 for Tashrat, 3 Tarat, and 3 for Tarat. That gives you the full 10.
Thank you.
Sure.
שבאמס יוצאים ידי חובה בכל הקולות. That really, or in truth, he fulfills through fulfills his obligation with each with all of the blasts. Velo Kishitas Rambam, and this is not according to the view of Rambam. Tisvirale Shehu Safek Amiti, that he holds that it is a doubt. What is Amiti?
Truthful. It's a real doubt. It's a truthful doubt, meaning the blowing of the shofar is not going to be fulfilled. That mitzvah is not going to be fulfilled unless you blow a full 30 blasts, because it's unknown as to what the true sound is. So therefore, you have to blow all combinations, a total of 30 sounds, to make sure that all the sounds have been heard that could possibly be the truthful one. And then through that set of 30 sounds, you know that within that set you fulfilled your obligation.
So the Rambam would say that he's allowed to blow 30.
Yeah, according to the Rambam, he should be able to blow 30, right? But we see that that's not the halacha.
Okay, should I read the brackets?
I no, I guess we could leave it. I guess could leave the brackets.
V'chein mochiach midivrei ha
Mishnah Brewer.
Mishnah Brura. What is muchach?
Muchach means it's provable.
And therefore it is provable, according to the words of the Mishnah Brura, shekahal sheshalcho v'le'ir acheres lahavi lahem shofar. That it's provable, according to the Mishnah Brura, that the congregation that sends to the city, to another city, to bring to them a shofar, the nisachav ashliach ad sof yom. What is this word? Nisachav?
Nisakev, he delayed. So he delayed. So the messenger delayed. So again, the case is as follows: you have a particular location, a particular city, and there's no shofar in the city whatsoever. There's no shofar to be found in the city. So they sent a messenger before Rosh Hashanah, right, to retrieve and bring back for them a shofar in another city, right? And the messenger was delayed for some reason, and he didn't arrive, right, with the shofar until after Rosh Hashanah was over, until after sunset. leaving the second day of Rosh Hashanah.
Oi. Okay, and what is this, Reish Hay?
So that's Rosh Hashanah. So now not only that, but it's a little bit more complicated as well, right? Rosh Hashanah haya b'yom hey u'b'yom vav. Rosh Hashanah that year in that situation fell out on the 5th day of the week and on Erev Shabbos.
Oi.
And again, now the shliach didn't arrive until after sunset going into Shabbos. That's when he arrived with the shofar.
Ukish Shaba im hashofar kavar ha hatiflalu shel Shabbat, and he arrived. He arrived after the Shabbos evening prayers. Aval haya od yom gadol, but it was still a great day.
It was still broad daylight, meaning they davened Ma'ariv for Shabbos. The whole city davened Ma'ariv for Shabbos while it was still daytime on the second day of Rosh Hashanah going into Shabbos. So now they have their shofar. They've got their shofar. It's still broad daylight. It's not sunset yet, but yet they all accepted upon themselves Shabbos.
Oh, because they didn't know he was coming.
Yeah, that's right. They gave up. Whatever.
So he's rushing to get there. He sees how late it is, but he says, it's still light. I can still make it.
Right.
Okay. Im ein sham baki l'sikoa. If there is not present an expert on blowing, shelo kibel alav Shabbos adayin, that has not accepted Shabbos upon himself yet. If there isn't a person who can blow the shofar who has not accepted Shabbos upon himself,
meaning the double negatives are that there's everybody who can blow shofar has already accepted it, taken in Shabbos already.
Right. Az yiska mi she kibel Shabbos, then someone who has accepted Shabbos can blow.
Right.
Below bracha, but it doesn't say a blessing. Velo yiska rak tashras tashas taras, and he does not blow all three.
But lo yita accept. He should only blow except the three, one tashrat, one tarat, and one tashat.
Below yoter, and no more.
That's it, and that's it. All right.
So that's 10.
That's 10 exactly. So again, another proof from the Mishnah Berurah: when you're in a tight squeeze, no other choice, you can only blow 10.
So that's making the Rambam look kind of not good at this point.
Right, exactly. So we'll have to stop here. We'll continue this again tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.
What a cliffhanger!
Oh, yeah. Okay. In the meantime, we'll take a little break, and we'll pick up in a few minutes in this, Mr. Brewer.
All right. Thank you very much, Rabbi. I'm sorry I came late and then I got interrupted with all sorts of things. That anyway, so I just wanted to ask that the wording of the bracha is such that it says that it commanded you to do this.
Right.
So you would say You can't say that afterwards. Or can you? So that's why you'd say the bracha first.
Yes, the bracha has to be said before, once you've done the mitzvah, you can't make the bracha anymore, in general. Most cases, once you've done the mitzvah, then the person's lost the bracha.
Right. All right. All right. I'm sorry.
Okay, tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, hope to see you. Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
Have a good day, Roy. We'll see everyone else in a few minutes, Mitzvah Hashem.
You too. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.